the story of our world every day. Listen and your heart may open up. If ever you feel frightened of our world that's washed away, a mother is a mother, come to us. Women, 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 women. Women sew the fabric of our world every day. History of violence made it through. The stories that we share will live on, and so we say these truths are our gifts passed on to you. Women.
Welcome to tonight's hashtag 101 Night Show. I'm Lisa Liebau, co-founder and president of the Scheherazade Project, a women's activism through storytelling arts movement that uses the power of art, creativity, solidarity, and courage in promoting social justice, nourishing our spirits, and enabling a more beloved community. We're more than halfway through our Election Day countdown with creativity. We've been showcasing our strong voices to encourage all Americans to use their voices in the most important way, vote. Join us live every night, 8 p.m. Eastern, or watch previous episodes by visiting YouTube, Facebook, and IGTV. Tonight, we're featuring Jennifer Ryan, author of national bestseller The Chilbury Ladies Choir, winner of the Maryland Writers Association Novel Contest 2017. Jennifer is originally from London, and her first novel was inspired by her grandmother's stories from the Second World War. Her new book, The Spies of Shilling Lane, is set in the London Blitz in the Second World War. A woman searching for her missing daughter finds herself embroiled in a dangerous espionage mission. Welcome, Jennifer Ryan.
Today my son left for war. I have adopted a brittle facade, a limp smile that wavers in and out like a broken tune on a worn-out wireless. I keep trembling as I remember the last war, all those soldiers who never returned, the neighbour's lad gone only a month before the telegram arrived. They say this war is different, but a horror overcomes me if I dare to think of David out there, trying to stay sane through the gore. They say we have bombers and tanks. There won't be trenches like the last time. But when I close my eyes, all I hear is the unbearable yells of men in pain, crushed by the colossal theatre of war. You see, I saw them come home after the last war, the cripples, the amputees, the ones so disturbed they'll never sleep soundly again, haunted by their dead friends, guilt-stricken that they were somehow allowed to live. They were never the same again. This morning was filled with much running up and down the stairs, the French scents of shampoo, hair cream, and clean laundry cutting through the fraught air. I watched out of the hall window for the van. The slow grey clouds mottled the outside world. Ralph Gibbs from the shop was leaving too, and Mrs. Gibbs was driving them both to Lichfield in her grocery van. "Look at you," he said to David as he came downstairs for the last time. He was wearing his uniform and looking all tidy and grown up. I straightened his already straight collar. I just wanted to touch him, to feel his mass under my fingertips. He looked down at me and grinned in his cheery way. "Well, best be off then, Mum," he said, "or I'll be in trouble before I've even started." He laughed a little, and I clenched my mouth into a tight smile so that I didn't cry. As he opened the front door, the clouds broke apart, and the sun came out, making the wet trees and grass glisten silently for a brief moment. Then a fine rain began, sprinkling the air with a dewy sparkle that made it almost unreal, like a slip in time. We said goodbye at the gate in the ethereal drizzle. With a glance back at the house, his home for all these years, he put his arms around me. I gripped him tight. "You know you don't have to go," I whimpered, praying for one insane moment that he'd changed his mind. He smiled and wiped away a tear. Chin up, Mum. Someone's got to teach those Jerrys a lesson, eh? Pulling away, he ambled off to the van, and I studied his broad back, his lazy lilting walk, his state of being that would no longer be mine to watch, mine to grasp. A vision came back to me as him as a boy, scampering down this very path, late for school, turning and grinning, lopsided by his heavy satchel. And just as I remembered, he turned back to me then, with that same look, as if the world were a great adventure for him to behold and relish. And I felt the rain washing the tears down my face for all our precious years together. He got into the van and opened the window to wave. And then, as it revved up and pulled away, his lips touched the palm of his hand and he blew me a kiss, something he hasn't done since he was a child. It was as if, on the edge of manhood, he too remembered everything we had shared, that he was still the man who was, in his heart, my little boy, late for school.
Thanks for joining the sisters tonight. If you've joined us other nights, I'm sure you too are impressed by the diversity of storytellers' approaches. Some have created new work for their night's performance, others have shared previous work, but all have signed on to support us by sharing their voices. By the time we reach November 2nd, the eve of the 2020 Election Day, all eligible voters will be ready to raise their voices too, in the most important way of all. Go vote, everyone.
Come to us, women, 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 women. Women sew the fabric of our world every day. History of violence made it through. The stories that we share will live on, and so we say these truths are our gifts passed on to you.